To whoever is listening to this right now, and I know you're listening because something far greater than an algorithm brought you here. What I'm about to say over the next few minutes isn't going to be comfortable. Not because I want to hurt you, but because there's a specific kind of healing that only happens when you finally look at the one place you've spent your entire life avoiding. That place has a name. It has a scent. It has a specific voice that you recognize even when you're trying your hardest to tune it out. That place is the wound that came through your mother. Stay with me, because what I'm going to show you before this message ends isn't an attack on her. It's a revelation of what passed through her before it ever reached you. And once you understand the what and the why, the way you carry this story is going to shift. It won't erase the past. It won't pretend it didn't happen, but it's going to stop weighing 10,000 pounds. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that feeling that catches you off guard. In the middle of a Target run, during a casual conversation, or on a random Tuesday when you realize you're reacting in a way you didn't choose. A way your mother used to react. A specific word she'd use. The way she'd shut down whenever someone tried to get close. You didn't decide to do that. You absorbed it. And now you're carrying it as if it were your own DNA. Or maybe it's the opposite. You swore you'd never be like her. You promised you'd never do what she did or say what she said. And then you catch yourself doing exactly that. Not by choice, but because the pattern is stronger than the promise. Maybe you can't even put a name to the feeling. You just know there's something between you and her that's never been settled. Even if she's still around. Even if you guys still talk. Even if everything looks fine on the surface. Underneath, there's a wound that won't scar over because you've never understood where it actually started. Before we go any further, I need to tell you this. What brought you to this message wasn't weakness. It was courage. Most people spend their entire lives guarding that wound instead of looking at it. But you're here. You're standing your ground. You're listening. That already sets you apart. There are 3 things I need to give you before we're done. First, the original Hebrew name for the kind of love that existed between you and your mother, even in the moments where it felt like there was nothing there. Once you hear this name, your entire history will take on a meaning you've never had access to before. Second, a practical 3-step protocol that will start healing this wound from an angle you've probably never tried. It doesn't require anything but you and a few minutes of radical honesty. Third, a declaration that will reposition your entire bloodline. It's not about erasing what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about changing what it means from this day forward. For you and for whoever comes after you. Don't check out before you receive all 3. If you leave now, you'll walk away with the same burden you brought in. Now listen closely. The maternal lineage wound is still active in your life if you recognize any of these 5 signs. As I go through them, don't try to rationalize. Don't try to make excuses. Just feel whether or not you recognize the truth in them. Sign number 1, the echo pattern. There's a way of relating to people that you recognize as your mother's. You didn't choose it. You inhaled it. It's how you react when someone lets you down. It's the way you go cold when you actually need help. It's the way you give and give and give until you're running on empty, and then you feel a quiet rage toward the people who took from you. You swear you're different from her, but under pressure, when you're tired or vulnerable, you act exactly like she did. And by the time you realize it, it's already done. You've already said it. You've already hurt someone the same way she hurt you. Sign number 2, the receipt block. You know how to give. You know how to serve. You're the one everyone calls. But when someone offers something to you, a genuine compliment, help with no strings attached, a selfless act of love, you freeze. There's an automatic suspicion, a voice that asks, what do they want from me? Or, I don't deserve this, or, this is going to cost me something I don't want to pay. You didn't learn that on your own. That was transmitted. It was passed down because your mother didn't know how to receive what was hers either. Sign number 3, the kitchen table critic. There's a voice inside you that judges everything. It compares. It points out the flaws in everything you do. A voice that never says, "This is good enough." It always finds the mistake before it sees the win. You know this voice because the tone is familiar. It uses the same words, the same inflection. It's your mother's voice living in your head, and even if she never said those specific words out loud, you heard them. In her silence, in the way she looked at you, in the absence of the "I'm proud of you" that you spent your childhood waiting for. Sign number 4, love wrapped in fear. Every time someone gets truly close, not surface level, but really close, something in you flinches. You wait for the ball to drop. You prepare for the disappointment. You build a wall before the other person even has a chance to knock. This isn't just trust issues. This is a protection system built the first time love and pain arrived in the same package. The first time the person who was supposed to care for you was the one who hurt you. And that first time was with her. Sign number 5, the phantom ache. You miss your mother, even if she's sitting right across from you. Even if the relationship is toxic. Even if you don't want to feel it. It's a strange kind of homesickness because you aren't missing the real person. You're missing what could have been and wasn't. You're missing the love you knew was in there somewhere, but you could never quite touch. The connection that should have existed, but never found a shape. That ache is the clearest sign the wound is still open. You don't miss the pain. You miss what was hidden behind it. If you recognized any of those, and I know you felt at least one, just type the number in the comments. You don't have to explain, just the number. When you publicly acknowledge what you've recognized, you start to break the power it holds over you in private. Now close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. What I'm about to tell you won't work if your attention is divided. Most people who grew up in church or around the Bible know the Hebrew word rachamim. It's usually translated as mercy or compassion. It's what King David asked for when he was broken. But rachamim comes from a root word, racham, and racham comes from rechem, which means womb. This isn't just a poetic metaphor, it's literal. When the Bible speaks of God's compassion, it uses the same root as the word for womb. It's saying that God loves you the way a body loves what grew inside of it. It's a visceral, physical love. It cannot not exist because it was born in the very place where life was generated. And here is what the root reveals about your mother. The racham was there, even where she failed, even where she caused pain, even where she couldn't give you what you needed. The love that comes from carrying a life doesn't disappear just because a person lacks the capacity to express it. It gets bottled up. It gets trapped inside her, unable to come out in the way you needed to receive it. You called it rejection. You called it abandonment. You called it a lack of love. And maybe in practice it was all of those things. But at the root, in the racham, the love existed. It just didn't know how to reach you. Because the love that didn't reach you didn't start with her. It came from before her, from her own lineage, from what her mother never received and therefore couldn't pass on. And what her mother didn't get came from the generation before that. It's been happening for decades. The wound didn't start with you, and it didn't start with her. You both inherited something that no one has had the guts to interrupt until now. And you, listening to this right now, you are the first one in your bloodline who is about to call the pattern by its name. And when you name it, you stop it. Let me show you this through 2 stories. The first is from the Bible. Hagar. Hagar wasn't the main character. She was a secondary player used by Abraham and Sarah to solve their own problems. Then she was discarded, sent out into the desert with her son. In that desert, she hit the wall. No water, no strength, no hope. She put her child under a bush and walked away because she couldn't bear to watch him die. She wasn't a bad mother. She was an exhausted mother. A mother with no resources left. A mother who loved her child but had nothing left to give. And it was right there, at the point of total burnout, that God showed up. Not to Abraham, not to Sarah, to Hagar. "What's the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid." And God opened her eyes to a well that was already there. She hadn't seen it because her desperation had blinded her. Your mother might have been a version of Hagar, surrounded by wells she couldn't see, resources she didn't know she had, carrying a love, the racham, that was deep inside her, but she didn't know how to draw out for you. Now the second story, a simple metaphor. A tree that grows in dry soil develops roots that go deeper than necessary. It has to search for water where other trees never have to look. But when you take a sapling from that tree and plant it in fertile ground, it carries roots deeper than any tree that grew up easy. What your maternal lineage went through wasn't just pain. It was an involuntary excavation of roots. And those roots belong to you now. You can use them to find water in places others don't even know exist. You can pass on to the next generation a strength that came from a deficit, but it doesn't have to stay a deficit. Do you see what I'm saying? The wound isn't the end of the story. It's the place where the story transforms. If you have the courage to look at it from the right angle. Let's stop for 1 full minute. Here are 4 objective facts about your situation right now. 1. The maternal lineage wound is not your fault. It's not her fault. It's not a punishment from God. It is a pattern that transmits itself as long as it isn't named and intentionally stopped. 2. Naming it isn't the same as excusing it. You can understand what your mother went through and still acknowledge that what she gave you wasn't enough. Both things are true at the same time. Understanding doesn't cancel the pain. It just repositions it. 3. Healing doesn't start when the history changes. History isn't going to change. What happened, happened. Healing starts when the interpretation of the history changes. When you stop carrying the past as a verdict on your worth and start carrying it as an inheritance you're going to transform. 4. What you're about to receive isn't therapy. It's not a life hack. It's a lineage repositioning protocol. Something you're going to do today. Not next week. Today. And here is who you are in the middle of all this. Your first identity. You are the receiver of the racham. Even where the love didn't reach you in the form you needed, the racham existed. You were generated by it, carried by it. This means you didn't start in a love deficit. You started in a love that didn't know how to speak, that authorizes you to stop carrying your story as proof that you aren't enough. You are enough. You always were. What didn't reach you wasn't about your value. It was about her capacity. Your second identity. You are the pattern interrupter. You aren't just healing yourself. You are breaking a cycle for the generation coming after you. What you name today won't be transmitted to your kids in the same way. What you surrender today won't be inherited by them. This authorizes you to treat your healing as an act of legacy, not as a weakness, not as emotional indulgence, but as the spiritual responsibility of the one chosen to be the first to stop the bleed. Your third identity. You are the transmitter of restored racham. You are going to pass on love. The question isn't if, it's how. Will it be the old way, fragmented, guarded, mixed with fear? Or the restored way, conscious, intentional, and clean? This authorizes you to start the healing now. Not when you feel ready. Not when everything is perfect. Now. Because every day you wait is another day the old pattern stays in the driver's seat. Type this in the comments right now. Not later now. 4 words. I break the pattern. This isn't a motivational quote. It's a public decree that seals the commitment in your bloodline. When you mark it publicly, spiritual forces take notice of what's been declared, and if this message hit home, make sure you're subscribed. The next one is coming before you even realize you need it, and if you needed this one, you cannot afford to miss what's next. Now, the protocol. The Racham protocol has 3 movements. You're going to do all 3 today. Not tomorrow. Today. Before you go to sleep. Movement 1. Name what arrived. Take a piece of paper, not your phone, physical paper, and write a sentence that starts like this. What reached me from my mother's lineage was completed with total honesty. No accusations, no judgment, just an objective description of what you carry that didn't start with you. Maybe it's the inability to accept love. Maybe it's the inner critic. Maybe it's the fear of being left. Whatever it is, name it. Because what has no name continues to operate in the dark. What has a name loses the power to control you without you noticing. Movement 2. Name what didn't arrive. On the same sheet, write, what did not reach me was, complete it with what you needed but never got. Maybe it was validation. Maybe it was a hug during the hard times. Maybe it was the words telling you that you were enough exactly as you were. Whatever it was, name it without judging her or yourself. Just the raw truth of what was missing. Movement 3. Declare the interruption. After you've written it down, you're going to say these exact words out loud. Not just think them. Speak them. What reached me does not pass through me. What did not reach me begins with me. I interrupt and I inaugurate at the same time. Say it once, out loud, with intention. The sign that it worked isn't necessarily crying or a dramatic emotional breakdown. It's a strange kind of clarity. A feeling that you just put something back in its place after it's been out of alignment for years. It might come with tears or relief or a deep quiet you haven't felt in a long time. But the real sign is the clarity. Once you finish the protocol, not now, later, if you feel like you need more, if there are other layers of this wound that need structured work, the miracle blueprint is in the first pinned comment. It's a 21-day journey through lineage blocks that goes way deeper than I could here. But don't click it yet. First, do the protocol tonight. See what happens. Then decide if you need the next step. Now, listen to me again. In the next 72 hours, 3 things are going to be thrown at what was declared here. Not as a possibility, as a certainty. Tactic 1. Misdirected guilt. At some point in the next few days, you're going to feel like understanding your mother's pattern means you're judging her, that you're being ungrateful, or disloyal, or unfair. You'll hear a voice saying you should have more compassion because she did her best. Listen to me, that isn't a spiritual conscience. That is the tactic that keeps the cycle intact. Because as long as you don't name it, you can't stop it. The voice accusing you of ingratitude is the same voice that wants you to keep carrying a burden that isn't yours. You can have compassion for her and still recognize that what she gave you wasn't enough. The two don't contradict each other. Compassion doesn't cancel the truth, and truth doesn't cancel compassion. Tactic 2. Selective memory. Good memories will flood in. Real, genuine moments of love. Your mom taking you somewhere special, cooking your favorite meal, or taking care of you when you were sick. These memories will try to make you feel like what we talked about here isn't true. They don't contradict the truth. Both are true. The good memory doesn't erase the pattern, and the pattern doesn't erase the good memory. The Racham existed, and the inability to express it fully also existed. Both at the same time. Tactic 3. The it didn't work whisper. You'll do the protocol and maybe you won't feel anything cinematic, and a voice will say, nothing changed. You're the same. This stuff doesn't work. That voice is lying. Lineage shifts aren't always felt as immediate emotional highs. They reveal themselves in the coming days, in your next few relationships, in your next reactions, which will be slightly different than before. You'll realize in hindsight that something shifted, but in the moment, it might feel like nothing happened. That is exactly where faith operates. Now close your eyes. Put your hand on your heart. Take 3 deep breaths. Slowly, let go of the weight of having to fix your entire family history in one night. It's a process. You started today. That is already a victory. Just let go. Let go of the expectation that healing has to be dramatic to be real. Sometimes the deepest healing is the quietest. Just let go. Let go of the judgment you have toward yourself for carrying things you didn't choose. You inherited this. You didn't create it. And now, you're stopping it. Let go. Say out loud 3 times, I let go. Now, receive your 3 identities. Let them sink in. You are the receiver of the Racham. You are the pattern interrupter. You are the transmitter of restored Racham. Declare, I receive, I interrupt, I transmit. And now, the voice of the Father speaks directly to you. My son, my daughter, I saw every moment you waited for something from your mother that never came. I saw you as a child, waiting for a look that never arrived, waiting for a word that wasn't said, waiting for a hug that felt halfway given. I saw it all. I know exactly what reached you through her lineage. I saw the love that was trapped inside her that couldn't find a way out. I saw the Racham she couldn't release. And I'm telling you now, that was never my definition of you. It wasn't my sentence on what you deserve. It was a lineage wound waiting for the first person brave enough to call it by its name. You are that person. What you interrupted today stays interrupted. What you inaugurated today begins to flow. From now on, when the pattern tries to repeat itself, you will recognize it. You will stop. You will choose differently. And when your children look back, they won't inherit what you inherited. They will inherit what you transformed. Now, the sealing. Committed, commissioned, sent. Committed, commissioned, sent. Don't say amen yet. Committed, commissioned, sent. Now say, amen. Write 1 word in the comments about what you interrupted today. Not a sentence, just 1 word that represents the pattern you broke. This makes the decree public, and what is public is irreversible. There is someone, you know exactly who is also carrying a wound that smells like home, and they still don't understand what's behind it. They don't know that what reached them didn't start with them. They don't know that you can stop the cycle without destroying the person. Send this message to them. Mention their name. Don't explain it. Just say, this is for you. Because some healing doesn't arrive alone. It arrives through someone who has already started walking and is brave enough to reach back. The next message is going to be about what happens to a lineage once the first person breaks the pattern. What opens up? What resists? And what starts to flow in a way no previous generation ever had access to? Don't miss it. It is done. What was delivered here was delivered. What was decreed was decreed. You are not the same person you were when this message started.